What's going on, Doe fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing a Bitcoin market analysis today, as well as for today's base native coin of the day. It's Alien Base. Alien Base is a base native DEX coin on base chain. It's pretty much the #1 trading experience DEX on base chain, and I'll be covering it for you guys because there is some really good chart TA analysis updates to show you guys, and just fundamental updates for Alien Base. So let's get right into it. First of all, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages, like and subscribe, the usual stuff, and also comment down below if you guys want me to cover any other base native coins, because I'm always going through your comments and just figuring out what coins to cover every day, because there is a lot of stuff to cover every day, and to be honest, the good thing about base chain is it isn't actually that dilutive. So I think like within 2 months, I'll probably be covering pretty much all the top base native coins. So definitely comment down below and I'll use your comments as priorities. So let's get right into it. So for Bitcoin hasn't really changed much the past few days. Something to note for the 4-hour RSI, there is a lot of buying absorption, and I'll explain that why below. So currently we're actually seeing the 4-hour RSI resetting while the price is actually trending upwards. So this is a clear textbook case of buying absorption. And what we would like to definitely see here is once this 4-hour RSI breaks out to the upside, most likely that would mean Bitcoin actually breaks out of his flag and heads to the 100k resistance area. When it comes to how it reacts to that 100k level, not sure yet, but ideally we test that and then break out above it. But to be honest, I don't really expect Bitcoin to break 100k on the first try. What we'd like to see is some nice consolidation, maybe another dip below to the 96k area, and then we can retest sometime in later May, because I still do expect, my base case is early May we'll have a dip. Let's get this pump over and done with to the 100k level, and then we can have that retest and consolidation phase early May. When it comes to Bitcoin just in general though, like we did have that weekly RSI breakout yesterday confirmed, and I already told you guys, look, I do expect a leg up because of that, because every time we've broken out of this weekly RSI, the trend has been a doubling from the previous low. So with this doubling of the previous low, we can expect in next probably like 2 to 4 months, a 150k Bitcoin around there. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion, and I'm only relaying what I'm seeing on the charts. And generally, every time we've broken out this weekly RSI, we've actually seen a doubling in price from the previous lows, which puts us around the 150k area. For total coin market cap, as always, nothing else has really changed either, because Bitcoin hasn't really pumped the past few days or dumped. But just a reminder for you guys as well, we did see our first ever higher high weekly close on the total coin market cap, which is really bullish, as you can see here. What we're just waiting now is a higher low, and then we can have that really big, massive uprising to the upside. And I still do expect sometime in May we have that higher low, and then a continuation to the upside, and then we ideally break the all-time high of about 3.7 trillion, and we have that massive alt season that we're expecting once we get that Bitcoin's final drive to the upside all-time high run. So on that point, we have a lot of liquidations actually getting built up as of now. So we have a lot of shorts getting built up around the 96k region. So I would not be surprised with the confluence that we have, that there is buying absorption on the lower time frames, that the market makers do hunt those liquidity above us around the 96k region, which just happens to be above this flag. And I do expect quite a bit of liquidations to happen then. So we can probably expect at least $100 million in shorts getting liquidated at the area. Let's see, and I guess time will tell if we actually have enough fuel to the fire to go up to the 100k area. But nonetheless, I do expect a leg up drive probably sometime this week or next week, and then a correction after that. So let's see how it goes, but that is currently my base case. For open interest, nothing else to monitor and tell you guys, like it hasn't really changed, we're just grinding sideways. For long shorts ratios, let me just refresh it, because there is an update today. For the long short ratio, as you can see, we technically made a higher high on the short ratio, so it's looking like we're actually having more bears flipping bullish, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, look, it looks like we actually printed another higher low, sorry. And yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's bearish, because I guess something to note is if you go to the 12 hour, it's sort of pretty much this whole bull cycle, it's been the longest period that we've had this many bears actually shorting the markets. Like, just look how much red there is for the duration of April. Whereas every time we've had red prints, it hasn't really lasted as long as this one. So if we start like flipping green, I'm not calling for lows. Like, all it just means is the market is resetting and it's starting to hit that 50-50 ratio that the market should be at. And it just means that, look, we've had enough, like, a lot of pain produced for those shorts, and the market's just resetting. But to be honest, if you zoom out to the 4 hour, like, it's still grinding sideways. So on that point, it's looking like there is less shorters shorting the market, but nonetheless, it hasn't really changed our like results and what we expect for Bitcoin for the future. I do expect a massive leg up, but it's just interesting to see that the shorts are sort of starting to drop off, it seems, or it's sort of the beginnings. We could still like roll over from here, but on that high and high low print, it looks like we could actually turn around and we might actually have a lot more bears flipping bullish for the immediate future, which could actually line up with our pump to the 100k level, where we have a lot of bears flipping bullish at this area, and then they just get liquidated because they're late longers, and then we have a market reset then. So let's see how that goes, but pretty interesting to see. When it comes to tweet by Donny Dicey, so he thinks 200k plus is on the cards for the next 4 to 6 months. But it's an interesting chart to see because, as you guys can see on this monthly RSI, pretty much every bull market has pretty much resulted where the RSI has hit this trend line, and we're actually missing that trend line hit for this bull market. So if this bull cycle is similar to every other cycle in the past for Bitcoin, we can expect the same where the monthly RSI actually hits this level sometime in October and then rolls over from there. And if that's the case, we can expect at least a doubling from the low. And he thinks 200k is the magnet. Personally, I think if we're going to hit 200k, we're probably going to hit more than that, because if we hit 150k, we're probably going to have a consolidation period and then another doubling to probably 300k or so, just based on the fact every time we've created a new low with the weekly RSI breaking out, it has caused a doubling in price. So the 210k level doesn't really make sense to me, unless we somehow only hit like 120, 130, and then we do a doubling there that hits near that level. But let's see how that goes. I guess the point I'm sharing to you guys is we're missing that major confluence level where the monthly RSI tends to be the massive retesting of this monthly RSI is usually the top of the bull cycle, and we're actually missing that right now. So we can expect a leg up from here and pretty much more time in this bull cycle. Next tweet is by Credible Crypto. He's just showing that the spot CVD has been fully reset and the price is actually moving up. Very similar to how I'm saying there's a lot of buying absorption coming in right now. He's calling it selling absorption, but that's fine. And the funding is negative neutral. So as you guys can see, the price is grinding up for Bitcoin while the CVD is actually dropping, which is really good. Buyers are stepping in and there is buy absorption at these levels, which is actually causing the price to grind up, while sellers are selling and the buyers are scooping up the Bitcoin. So looking really good. And I do expect probably a leg up for this week or next week, just based on those factors alone. When it comes to the bonus coin of the day, Alien Base. So Alien Base, I've covered you guys countless times. But I just want to really show you guys for this week for Alien Base, because we have a really good chart update. And as you guys can see, if you haven't already, this is on the 3-day chart. And I've got this lined up. So let me just line up better. As you guys can see, this 3-day RSI support level has been hit quite often. And let me just circle up for you guys. So currently we're sitting above it. And ideally what I'd like to see is a consolidate and then bounce from there. So the reason why, which I'll show you now, is every time we've retested this 3-day RSI support level, we've had a massive run to the upside. So let me just line up for you guys. So this time here back in March, we retested it and we had a massive rise to the upside. So let me see what the percentage was. The percentage for that rise was about 1100%. Next one was back in here. So back in June, we retested, went back up. We had about a 200% rise. And then the next one where we actually grinded and bounced up, we had that monster rally. And technically it was back in August. So we had a run of about 1100%. If you include the other top, which was later on, 1300%. So I think this is quite significant because it just shows us every time we've held this 3-day RSI and then bounced from there, we've had a massive rise to the upside. So this line I'm showing you guys here, it's not like a pure expectation on timings, but I do expect if we get that rise and retest of the 3-day RSI support, we can expect a monster move up for Alien Base. And it just goes back to what I was saying. Alien Base does need more time to accumulate, but in my opinion, the charts are developing very nicely. And I guess my line in the sand for Alien Base, if we get that close above the accumulation area, which is about the $18 million market cap level, which is about 10 or 11 cents or so, I do expect that explosive move to then start. So when it comes to accumulating, anywhere from these levels, I would say is a good spot. And I'm actually accumulating at these levels. So I would say anywhere from this level is a good spot to accumulate. And when it comes to like, I guess, running out of time to accumulate Alien Base, if we see multiple closes above the $18 million area, I would say yes, the upside potential and the leg up is probably going to be happening very soon. Purely based on the fact that, look, every time we've bounced off this 3-day RSI, which I'll show you guys here, we've had a massive leg up. And if we get that leg up for the RSI, we can expect that price to actually confluence with that, and we can expect a similar move like we did back in November to December. So pretty exciting times for Alien Base. When it comes to fundamentals, still very strong. The TVL's numbers for Alien Base is looking like it's about to flip to the positive pretty much since October of last year, which is really good to see. It just means a lot of DEXs on base chain is starting to recover. And I guess fundamental update as well for Alien Base. Something really good to see is, let me just get the tweet up for you guys as well. So let me just read this out for you guys and I can give you guys some context. So B3 is leading the charge. Alien Base is the go-to DEX on B3's chain. Connect the dots, that's hella based. So for context, B3 is an L3 gaming chain on their own chain. So it's on base chain and they have their own layer 3 gaming chain. And they've actually partnered up officially with Google. And the reason why this is actually so significant is, especially because the B3 token is actually listed on Coinbase, the reason why that's so significant is Alien Base is actually the main DEX partner for B3. So just think of it, if you're going to be purchasing tokens on B3, the underlying technology and architecture and I guess DEX protocol and provider you'll be using is Alien Base. So that's so significant because one, B3 is connected to Coinbase. They're already listed on Coinbase. And two, B3 is literally partnering up with Google. So I think that helps a lot for Alien Base's reputation. And I guess just foot in the door to get a potential Coinbase listing because they already have a major partnership with B3 and Alien Base is a major partner with B3. So very bullish on that point. Alien Base is partnering up with really well thought out projects and they're actually making a difference on base chain, and they have a really good relationship with Coinbase, which just, in my opinion, increases the chances Alien Base does get a Coinbase listing. And obviously the Coinbase listing would most likely actually be the catalyst for this monster run to multiple dollars. But nonetheless, none of his financial advice, all of it's just my opinion. But in my like it literally just says in the tweets, I'm connecting the dots, and in my opinion, it just seems pretty obvious that since Alien Base is working with B3, that the official Alien Base liquidity provider on B3's chain, and B3 token is listed on Coinbase and actually partnering up with Google, it just gives Alien Base way more merit and increases its chances to get listed on Coinbase, in my opinion, which could just be the catalyst to actually pump to the multiple dollars level. Obviously, that would be like 120 mil plus. So very exciting times. Alien Base is looking really good. The charts are developing very nicely. And when it comes to accumulation levels, I would say anywhere from these levels is very strong on the risk to reward side. But if you want to pay, like, I guess, insurance that you're buying right before a breakout, most likely if you start getting closes above the 18 to 19 million dollar level, most likely that breakout is actually occurring and you probably don't have much time left to actually purchase Alien Base. So when it comes to the video, that's all to the video, guys. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you guys want to cover any other base native tokens. And that's all to the video, guys. Peace.